the words of our elders are words of wisdom, and we need to drink more from the pot of our elders in the profession, from the pot of our veteran broadcasters, so that we'll be able to really get the message of what broadcasting entails, or what broadcasting is all about. Let me just introduce to you Mrs. Donifa Gbaibo. You're welcome, ma.
Thank you.
Or did you feel that, well, listening to radio or some other things that, well, I feel like, or did you feel like getting involved in that type of profession?
Oh yes, in the university. I attended the University of Nigeria, Nsukka. I studied religious studies, and the system then in Nsukka, and it is still there, and that is what people are doing now, the course system. So because of my love for broadcasting, I took elective courses in journalism for about 3 years, and even during my stay in Nsukka, I tried to visit the Radio Nigeria then, whether I could be of any help in the Radio Nigeria. And during my summer holidays, I will come to Ibadan, WNTV, WNBS for my summer holidays. So all these things have prepared me for the future. So when the radio started in Akure, Ondo State, I went to Mr. Yemi Farumbi. I didn't want to start my job then because I wanted to go for my postgraduate in library studies. So I went to Mr. Farumbi in the office at Ibadan. I told him that I want some job that will keep me on where I'll be in school.
A student.
So he just said, but your parents are in Akure? I said, yes. He said, we have just started a radio station there. Why don't you go? So that was how the story began. When I started here in Ondo State Broadcasting Corporation, I met Mr. Agbola Ogedengbe, Mr. Jayekuye, Mr. Sonya Onyison then. They were my ogas. They were the ones taking me through the job. And they were good mentors for me. And
but eventually, when you are rising, you want to think of those people too, who maybe you have mentored. That is, those who really wanted to be like Doni Fagbaibo as far as the profession is concerned. Were you Thatcheric, if I may use that language?
No, I was not Thatcheric. People just loved it because a new state, seeing a woman holding the microphone or talking was very strange. And I remember those programs I used to handle. Some of them would come and say, please, I want to be in this profession. So I would just advise such people. And when in those days I used to handle a lot of programs. I would travel around the state. That is Ondo and Ekiti states. And it was not all that rosy then. Then I had a car then, so I'll go around the states to look for my programs. And in those places, I can remember Olaba Midele. He was in St. Peter's Teachers Training College. Anytime I wanted to have a recording, he would be there to help me arrange, call for his mates to come and take part in the programs and all that. I saw him then, and I was not surprised after his course in St. Peter's Teachers Training College. He joined us, and he's still there. He has risen.
Yes.
So, and I still remember the late, she's late now, Mokwe Ilori. She was in the Teachers Training College, Ekiti Teachers Training College, and she so much admired me. And at the end of the day, she joined us. So some people, they love the profession because of something. Like in those days when I used to listen, I listened to radio and all that. Those push radios with Anika Agbaje Williams, Mrs. Coker, and all
Julie Coker.
Julie Coker.
Nelson Ipaye.
So I would say one day I want to be like these people. So that's what happened.
Well, I must be frank, man, that you wanted to be like those people.
Yes.
But these days, let me just come out frankly, that people now don't even have those they want to pray to become in a way in the future. Maybe that is why we're having a lull. Let me describe that. Is that not true, ma'am?
I told you that I prepared myself right from the days I was in the university. Even before I entered the university, I said I would want to be to work in a station, radio station. In those days, radio station. And these days, people just come in. I want to work in Osrc. Somebody will just bring them, either they are good or not, no audition, nothing, and put them there, and they start messing up. So most people are not prepared. They are not prepared for the job, and you can see they don't prepare for their programs. They don't rehearse as announcers. I remember Chief Ayo Ogunlade. After each shift, he will come and correct us. I was the first announcer on the station. I'll get there early in the morning and won't leave until the evening. He will record all our mistakes and come and correct. Because he will tell you that whatever you say will be taken as true.
The gospel truth.
As the gospel truth. So you have to be very careful in your pronunciation, in the facts you say, and he would then warn us that we should not ad-lib. Write everything. In fact, if you want to say the time is so and so, if you don't write it down, you may say another thing. So he said we should write everything down.
Well, may God help us. But one thing, man, This idea of having a sort of media organization like this, just like operating like what we have in the civil service. Do you think a broadcasting organization should be separated from most of these things that happen in the civil service system, so that broadcasting should be able to face challenges and prospects of broadcasting alone, and not all this level 8, level 9, this and that?
Yes, this has been on for a long time, that we should be separated from the civil service, that all these things should be separated. We don't work the normal hours like a civil servant who will get to the office 8 o'clock and leave at 3. But a broadcaster will start, if you are an announcer, if you're in the morning duty, you have to get to the station before 5 a.m. and work till in the afternoon. And if the next person does not come, you have to be there.
Indefinitely.
That's indefinitely. And we also run risks. There are risks for broadcasters. And all these things make us different from the civil servant. In fact, I never knew I would be in the mainstream. In fact, it was a surprise to me, because as a broadcaster, you have your own line, you'll be moving and moving. I didn't know I would fall into the mainstream. In fact, when I got to the mainstream, I didn't know my way. And we thank God for how far He has helped
been able to help you. It's another veteran broadcaster, but this time I want to add a word with a difference. Let me sincerely welcome to the studio on veteran broadcasters. I don't want to add Alhaji, but let me just add for formality, Alhaji Abbas Akinwande. You're welcome.
Thank you very much, Soji.
I'm quite sure you will not criticize me for saying Alhaji now that we are on the program.
Yeah, no problem. In broadcasting, we don't use nomenclatures, either you are or prefixes.
Okay, I know.
Either you are a chief or Alhaji or professor or barrister.
Okay, that's normal in broadcasting.
In broadcasting.
Yeah, but for somebody who is out there now.
Yeah, well, you want Alhaji or pastor, it's the same.
Oh, well, Abbas Akinwande, that's the name.
Yes, thank you.
How did you venture, in the first instance, people want to appreciate how you ventured into broadcasting. Did you dream? Did you have the dream? Or was it your parents that said, look, Abbas, you have to get into this type of job? Or maybe you just decided, or you had some mentors in mind?
Thank you very much, Soji. My being in broadcasting is not by accident. From school, I've had this dream to be a broadcaster. While at school, at the secondary school level, I had been a very active participant at the social night, so to say. And anytime I was not there, it wouldn't be the same. Everybody would say, where is Abbas? Abbas must be here, because I would crack jokes, I would talk, I would sing, and all of a sudden, I found myself in broadcasting again. So it was as if I had this dream. It was a dream come true. Though after my secondary education, I wanted to further my studies, but my parents had no money. So I was working in Ibadan. This was around 1973. So my uncle then, Chief Olumu Iwakolade, from my father's side, he was in Ibadan with Oremeji brothers. But my father said I should go to him. So I was with him. Then they advised me I should go and do these
audition?
No, not audition. Primary education course. Then there was a crash program, UP crash program.
Okay.
So I had to go to Ife for these. We were the first set of this crash program, UP. So I went there. So when I came back, I had become a trained teacher. So, but the broadcaster in me kept telling me, look, Abbas, you are not where you were supposed to be yet. So I was teaching, but I was coming to WNBS, WNTV to do a program called Take a Trip. I think it was George Jobate, who was doing this program. So I will come, I will participate. Then, when the state was created, Ondo State, so I came over. I was still teaching. But I heard on radio that there was going to be an audition on those State Broadcasting Corporation. So I came. So the people I've been seeing in Ibadan, I saw them here. Mr. Jaikuye, Bamikole Akinlami of blessed memory, Fumi BME, and many others. When I saw them, Auntie, Abbas, we are not there. I said, well, I'm now a teacher in Bolon Group. So I got there. I tried first time. It was, I sounded too American. I should come down. My phonetics was too much, and I said, okay. I went back. So one day I came. So the full complimentary of the directors, they were there. I even came late because I went to class. So when I got there, it was almost over. And they said, why are you just coming? No, we have closed. Please go. I said, okay. So somebody said, I allowed this man, allow this young man. So when I came, they said, stop, Mr. Man, where have you been? I said, well, I've been trying. I said, okay. You are good, we will give you employment. Can you start now? I said, let me go and wind up. So I went back and I told my co-teachers and my superiors that, look, I've landed a job with the radio, so I came. And since then, I've never looked back. So I've taken the job as a vocation. I never saw it as one of those jobs to come in and go out. So, and I came in precisely in 1977. Though I've been trying before then.
One leg in, one leg out.
One leg in, one leg out. But in 1977, I said, well, it was enough. And that was how I became a full-fledged staff of Ondo State Broadcasting Corporation.
No, from what you have said now, I want all stakeholders to really get this information or the message. Broadcasters are born. They are not made. Can you buttress that?
Some of us are born. Some of us are made. When you are born, you still make yourself. When you are made, you still become born again. In the job, on the job, you have to. Because you say, well, because I have the talent. Then the finesse, you have to be trained. Training and retraining. That is the meat of broadcasters. That is what you can use to be above all others. Because if you say, because I am made, very many of us who have the talents, it affected us because they said, well, he didn't go to school now. He's an illiterate broadcaster. He's using native intelligence. No. So when you are made, or when you say, okay, you are a born broadcaster, good. You can be born, why not? But then you have to make yourself. The Yorubas will say, So many of us who believe that we were born broadcasters had to make sure that we train. We do research, we do so many things, we go to school. All my secondary, all my post employment education, I did in Osrc here. Right. So I courses here and there, about 4 diplomas, first degree, masters, so just name it.
So
so you won't say you are a born broadcaster, then you relax. It's not done. It's not done anywhere. So I agree with you. There are born broadcasters and there's broadcasters who make themselves. These are made broadcasters.
Well, I just want to chip this one in. Along the line, you have been just moving along that line of broadcasting.
Yeah.
I want to ask this question.
Yeah.
Your senior colleagues and your junior colleagues, how did you relate at the onset?
Yeah. You see, there will be, when you come like that, there will be what we call tutelage, internship. You learn the ropes, you know. So when I first came, the likes of Bamikole Akinlami of blessed memory, Chief Akinlami, about Gedengbe, Femi Oluboroko, Mr. Jai Kuyai, I was watching them. I was moving so close to them. Very many of my colleagues were pulling back. And there was an aspect where I gained a lot. It was mastering of ceremonies, comparing that functions. Akinlami was so good in doing this. So I would go with him. Each time they want to go, I will follow him, I will carry his bag. And people were saying, look, you will keep on carrying bags for all these guys, why now? I said, well, I'm only trying to learn the job. And you won't believe it. Out of my peer, I just discovered that I became one of the best compares, you know, because Akinlami was so good. You see, in broadcasting, you have to professionalize. If you want to be a producer, you be a producer. If you want to be an announcer, you be an announcer. If you want to be a studio manager, you be a studio manager. But in my own case, I think I had tested and I filled all these aspects.
Jack of all, master of many.
Yeah, you know. So, because we came in as studio managers. When you want to join broadcasting those days, you will come in as a studio manager first. So you will learn how to operate the console. You operate for your colleagues, you operate for announcers, newscasters. From there you move. You go into the studios as announcer. So from there you move and become producers. On and on and on and on. So very many of us who like you said, we moved through the ranks. We rose through the ranks.
Rank and file like the police.
Yeah, like the police would say. So today, I think we are better for it. Some will say, no, I don't want to, I just want to be an announcer. I don't want to dabble into production. Some will say, okay, I just want to be a newscaster. You know, but in my own case, I never did that. I wanted to be everything. When I saw the likes of my early colleagues, Emmanuel Dumashi, Victor Adamolekun, Tony Bandele of blessed memory, Benga Cool, Bawik. These were people who were DJs. I said, me too, I want to be a DJ. So I was using this acronym, like Alex Conde said, your DJ Abbas one day. So, and for years, everybody kept on saying, Abbas one day, Abbas one day. But I discovered that was not my line. I was not as good or proficient as my colleagues. So I saw that Chief Akinlami was a very good newscaster. And Chief Oyinson. So I said, okay, good. Let me copy these people. So one day I told them, I want to be ready. They said, well, come and try your hand. That was how I too became
a newscaster.
A newscaster.
Well, you talked about training and retraining and some of these other things. I'm quite sure you realize the fact that I don't know, because all these facilities, even within the country, how accessible are these? Because now you have to go to Lagos, you have to go to Kaduna, you have to go to. I want you to really maybe give some words of advice to some stakeholders.
Yes, these institutions are accessible. They run adverts, and the stations they subscribe. Very many of us went through these schools, NIJ, Radio Nigeria Training School, TV College Jos. But as you say, they are not enough. At the point we had NIJ Center in Akure here until later, I think it was scrapped. Our plea to government, let's have more schools to train our announcers, the crop of broadcasters that we have now. Because what I observe nowadays is that very many of our broadcasters are not trained. They are too green. You need to listen to most of these new radio stations, and when you at times you just wonder, but you really cannot blame them because these are very green heads. They won't be able to pronounce the names correctly. When they read the news, the delivery will be poor, in the sense that they have not rehearsed enough. And many of the people who are their leaders or their guys, they lack this training. So what we can do is to have more schools. A school that will serve Oyo, in Oyo they already have, they're very, very close, there's the proximity to Lagos. But from Osun down here, we need a school, a training school.
And I always say it, I don't mean to repeat, but there could be repetition for emphasis that the task, most of the things our heroes must have done in broadcasting must be sung over and over again, because it is a job, the type of job where we have to inform, entertain and educate people. And for people who must have done that for so many years, you know what that means. Making you happy at home. Well, on today's edition of Veteran Broadcasters, I have with me in the studio, a veteran broadcaster, Ibukun Olagundoye. I want to welcome you to Veteran Broadcasters.
Hello, Saji.
For many years you've been there doing this job, and some people, some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have the greatness thrust upon them. Well, how did you do it? When you were in school, did you dream of it, or was it the parents who said, "Look, Ibukun, you have to go you have to be a broadcaster in the first instance"?
I went to the state government of Ondo State, where I was employed. I worked with squadron leader Itadebi Kweme. And thereafter I came to OSRC, OSBC, ODTV, ODRC. The things keep changing and changing. Politics of broadcasting, politics of government. And then we ended up, I did mass communication, which broadened my horizon the more. And then, finally, where I got to after 35 years and left for younger ones to come up. But in a nutshell, broadcasting in those days, as we learned, as we were taught, is a far cry from what we have today. I just stop it there.
No, I don't want to, because what we are doing now, what we are saying now, in fact, most of the things we want to dwell on today will be food for thought for the burdened broadcasters and those who want to say, why did it happen this way?
So, we have a lot of people who found themselves into broadcasting today who have no business in broadcasting.
But can we? Are you now saying that we have square pegs and round holes as far as broadcast is concerned?
As many as possible.
But okay, what do you think? Do you think we should just leave them there?
Look.
This is your job. You are a veteran broadcaster. You are a broadcaster, and this is your job.
And when I retired, I've also ventured into that. I can't say pure water.
And that is what I'm saying. And as a broadcaster, will you be happy if things like that happen to broadcasting?
So that is why we came here to go and buy our prize and shine. To be able to show people that, look, this is a profession with a passion. You are supposed to be an image maker, an opinion leader, to put checks and balances. You're supposed to be, in our days we are married 24 hours to the job. We slept in the stations for several years. And you wake up, you close transmission by 1:30 a.m. or thereabout. You are the first to resume the second day. No qualms. We're not looking for extra money. But these days, every job done, they want remuneration. So we're all living witnesses. We see.
Emphasis are more on remuneration.
Yes, than the actual thing. This is a problem. We have thrown everything, the ethics, to the underdogs, and the underdogs are using it. It's a pity. I'm sorry. You know me, I'm very blunt.
But the way you are talking now is as if you are becoming emotional. The passion is it fast disappearing, or
it's disappeared. You have to be part and parcel of your production. Until it ends, nobody is happy. Okay. In those days, they tell you, you have done this. We do realistic post-mortem. You sit down, they tear your program into pieces. Forget whether it is radio or TV. I learned television broadcasting. I learned television directing from NTA Akure when it came, when it was established. I would leave OSBC premise at Obaile. I was still into that place, made friends, and began to see what. As I'm speaking to you today, my mind is made up of what to do tomorrow, even at my age. And people say, let me say somebody who says young pensioner. I say, I thank God for being a young pensioner. Right? What I said then, you can't buy what is there. Myself and my colleague, as we paired up together, we are that old set who wants to show people this is what it takes to carry broadcasting to the next level. There are quite a lot of things wrong. It is not, you don't come into broadcasting because you have a certificate in mass communication. That is not what we're saying. But that's what we're doing now. He doesn't know what his left is from his right. But because he's a graduate, the syndrome today is paper qualification. Then you have it all. In broadcasting, I'm sorry. Broadcasting is a talent industry. It's whether you have it or you don't have it. For the things to change, we must go back to the basis.
But to the best of my knowledge, some people say, well, it borders on training and retraining.
Yes.
Which is, we should form the basis of most of these things.
You bought a Toyota. The engine has fast deteriorated, and you want to take it to the mechanic to reboard that same refurbished engine, and you brought it out, and you say tomorrow you go back to the mechanic again to go and retrain it. What are you retraining there? What are you branding there? I'm telling you that things is wrong. If things are wrong right from the beginning, sorry.
Okay, now as an experienced person, how do we now produce the broadcasters that we need or that are necessary for the system?
Ask 3/4 of the broadcasters now. They can't see beyond their nostrils. That is where training comes in. When we got in the right set of people, you train them. When I used to be here, we have in-house training. And when Mr. Ladi came in, kudos to him, he also brought this thing. But you discover that most of these things, we are not interested. So, do you want to train a dead wood? No, you can't. Most broadcasters are workaholic. Any broadcaster of note today who is not a workaholic on that job has no place there. In those days, there is a portion of audition, they say ability to sight road. What road? You don't want to be told anything before it is done and done right. You give me a script and I have to edit the script even as a newscaster, and I let that mistake go. And I say I'm a newscaster. I am a producer. I am in the studio. I said I have to go and take my kid outside. So somebody should stand in for me as the producer. Has he produced? You are a script writer. Your script is not being vetted by even somebody who is supposed to be your supervising producer. Even the supervising producer too is not being supervised by anybody. But these are things we live by. You know the name they called me while I was there?
Yes. I still want to remind you of some of them.
I'll wire you.
I'll wire you, yes.
I'll wire you because you have to do the right thing. If you don't do the right thing, I'll query you. And I'm the kind of person, if I say do it this way and you say you can't do it, I'll say stand up and I'll take it over. Tomorrow you won't do it again. But if I keep telling you theories, you say, oh, guy is empty. Everybody I've worked with, ask them, for 35 years. You push it aside. Later on they say, oh, guy, wire. You have said, I've stopped becoming a wire. I've now risen to be cable.
You're cable instead of wire.
Because everything is packed together and that's cable.
Well,
it has to be the right thing.
What's your Broadcasting is a profession, and there's no hide and seek game about that. We need to really drink from the pot of wisdom of our people, those who are there before us. And that's why I have on today's edition of Veteran Broadcasters, well, a woman of many parts as far as broadcasting is concerned. But we get to that later. Let me just introduce to you, this is broadcasting, B.C. Adari. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Well, this is a veteran broadcaster today, B.C. Adari. And we want to know, because we say some are born great, some achieve greatness, and some have the greatness thrust upon them. Was broadcasting thrust upon you? Or are you supposed to be born with the traits of a broadcaster? What happened along the line from the time you were an infant?
I want to say I had the traits of broadcasting right from when I was very young. I would probably say when I was in primary school, because when I was in primary school, I just discovered that my exercise books, I'll pull out some pages, then make that into a little book, put the stapler in the middle, and then I start writing stories. And then I pick up my pencil and try to do some illustrations. So I was doing that right from that level. I didn't know it was something that would translate into my future. So that was it. Then when I went into secondary school, the debating society,
yes,
the dramatic society, and then, but the actual course I read in the university, I didn't actually plan for it. It just came like that. Because originally I was going to study English language at the University of Ibadan. And then the head of department of theater arts, Professor Aditiji, you would phonetize his name when he called his name, Professor Aditiji. He went to the admissions office and said he wanted somebody who did fine arts. So if the admissions officer could get a candidate like that for him, and then the admissions officer, because my sister was going to check if the admission was true.
Yeah.
So he kept on looking for my sister until one day he found her after lecture and called on her and said, would you think your sister would be interested in studying theater arts, because the head of department wants somebody who, did fine arts, because then he was looking towards having somebody who would do theater design.
Okay.
So that was his notion. So that was how I got to studying theater arts. Eventually, I didn't do theater design because the lecturer whom he wanted to train us finally got involved in the preparation for First Talk.
Okay.
So they took him to the National Theatre, Dr. Marino. Okay. So eventually, I dropped the interest. The professor didn't actually tell me all this until I finished the course. and I was going. That was when he told me, oh, do you know how you actually got into this course? I said, no. So he told me the story. But eventually, I didn't study theater design. There were just two of us who showed interest. The other one was a white girl. She got sent to France to finish the course. So I didn't actually study theater design, but that's how I actually got into the profession gradually, right from school, till I, started, the real profession of a broadcaster.
Yes, well, I think we should now go back a little bit. Who is, in natural sense, who is BC Adari?
Well, BC Adori is a veteran broadcaster.
Yes.
That's a profession I love with a passion.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
And it shows glaringly.
Thank you. I started broadcasting actually in 1978 as a youth corps member. I was with the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Enugu, as a producer. I was producing the program Hello Young People. That was my debut into broadcasting. And then that year, I took part in all the drama programs, recorded on that station. I wrote some of the scripts. I wrote most of the scripts for the ABS, Anambra Broadcasting Corporation Service, the radio and the television, because one of the drama producer then was also at the University of Ibadan while I was there. So when he needed scripts, he always came to me then. So that's how I started. Then after the national service, I started with the Ondo State Broadcasting Corporation and our favorite Radio 711.
Yes, I remember the good old days, the very good old days. And that's why, we remember those years with nostalgia. Something, the feeling is still there. Don't you have the feelings too?
I do, actually, I do. That's why I said Radio 711. Then I was a producer. I was a newscaster. I was a presenter. And that's how, over the years, so many things happened. And I quite enjoyed working at the OSBC. Eventually, we metamorphosed to the radio and the television, and then the amalgamation of the two, which became the Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation.
When it comes to broadcasting, you discover that there's very few books. But you have been able to put your own footprints, make them indelible on the sand of time. You have produced books, television, radio, this and that. I want you to really assess the performance. Because, radio and television, entertainment, education and information. How far have we gone now? Not those years. Yes, remember with nostalgia.
Thank you. I think we have gone places. If we look at the development in this part of the world, we would say that we have really done well. You might not be able to compare us with broadcasting outfits in some parts of the world with regards to equipment and all that, but I think we've done really fine. We've done really well. If we look at our programming, in the years back, the programming was more, I wouldn't say if it was richer than now. But I want to believe that now the tilt is a little bit more towards news. And some would say a station is as good as its last news report. So, there's nothing really bad with that. But then we had times when we had documentaries, when we had drama productions, on air, our own productions, some feature programs, more musicals. But in all, we have really, gone a long way. We've really done our bit.
Chief Saya Oyisa, who happens to be an important chief of Akurela. So I want to welcome you.
I want to thank you for the privilege, sir.
As far as Yorubas are concerned, most of the things we do, our parents will say, somebody has predicted it, or there were some traits when you were growing up that you are going to become a broadcaster. Was that the case with you, sir?
I do not necessarily contradict that kind of tradition or belief. But if you ask me, I would say that if anything at all, it was my instinct. It kind of told me that one day this would be my preferred profession. This is the kind of job that will give me job satisfaction. Because I started it way back from in secondary school. And what I was trying to do at that time, I ran commentaries during football matches. I solicited with a cardboard in my mouth, running around like a yo-yo, and pretending that I was what I knew at that time was called follow-on shop. I ran around fields. I could possibly not be qualified as a footballer, but I knew exactly how football match was being played. Believe me or not, I was also charged with the responsibility of my old principality, how I fashioned to be a kind of social, what they call social prefect, by listening to the old rediffusion, taking down news during news time, reading it to my colleagues during new times, way back in the mid-50s, when I was in Form 1 at Digital Development School. 57 was the first year in secondary school, and that was the year, as a pioneer student of Digital Development School, that was the year I started to notice my compelling instincts to do this. I did secondary between 57 and 61, went on to secondary school, higher school rather, in high school, that was 62 to 63, and was privileged to get admitted to the Premier University of Ibadan, 64 to 67. So before I was 23, I was very lucky to have graduated from the University of Ibadan at that time. Again, that had to do with the push. My father, who was a school headmaster, I never knew anything like farming. In fact, I didn't know how the yams grew. The man just insisted. It was broke and that was it.
That brings us to this. You are a university graduate when you entered, when you got into broadcasting. Now, some people will say that, what are the things that you really have, you feel that have helped you? Like, is it the innate things, the talent, or the academics?
It's a combination of all the three. One, because I had a father who was Andrean. He loved books and compelled his children to love nothing else but books. So that is the kind of thing we are talking about, environment. The instinct itself, this man was a socialite in his own way, in his own time, ebullient, full of jokes, quite an extrovert, highly disciplined. So that's the heredity part of it. The grace of God, of course, which is the third factor, is that even if you had all these things going for you, and God didn't bless it, there was no way you could come to this kind of point. So I credit everything to the grace of God, which manifested in these other two traits.
We broadcaster. Now that you are there, and you are still there by the special grace of God, what are the things you feel should be considered? Because broadcasting is a sort of growing industry now. Do we consider the academics to the detriment of how God has created you, or with your anything, your talent? So people say, well, talent is more important than the academics in broadcasting.
Well, Mr. Producer, my analysis, which I've given other media interviews, could be in this way. One, the man who is going to be a broadcaster must first of all satisfy himself that he derives a joy. He must probably have role models which he wants to become. I had this young boy told me that he should have a long journey. I wanted to speak English like him. I wanted to do football commentary. So that's one. So you must have some kind of role model. You must also have a focus. And you look at your ability and capabilities and ask yourself, what does it take to be successful broadcaster? You must ask yourself, do you have that? The third area is if your goal was to make money, then you are your own job. If you aspire to be a broadcaster, you must be kind of contented in terms of just meeting your basic needs, but aspiring to higher ideas. You must also be educated. This is no gainsaying. Without education, not literacy now.
Okay.
I said so. Yes, I said so. Education starts where literacy ends. I said so, and I maintain it. That those things should derive from going through school and letting school go through you. Those values should imbibe. The combination of them all, you must aggregate to your overall interest in broadcasting. So education is primary, it's rudimentary to your needs to be a successful broadcaster, and of course you must have commitments. In the sense that you must love the job for what it is. Then, of course, my brother, you must be hardworking. This is a thankless job. To me, it's more difficult and so jarring. I kept saying so. It's full of risks. You must be daring, and you must be a jack of all trades and master of all. In terms of education, because in your kind of profession, like it was in my little time, you must be able to take on any kind of profession to be able to do justice to the kind of thing you're doing right now. You don't give what you don't have, okay, and you don't do something or nothing. In other words, your knowledge of the world, current affairs, goings on, the environment, science, the arts, music, take it, anything. You must have some little knowledge about everything, and you must keep updating that knowledge and keep reading.
So it's a sort of life sentence.
títàn ògbórùn ní tọ́ka pójúmọ́ ti mọ́ ojúmọ́ ti mọ́ ògo àkúrẹ́ lé téńté bí òṣùmàrè ọ̀gbẹ́ni ayọ̀dèjì df olúlẹ̀yẹ ògo àkúrẹ́ ló sọ pé àtẹ́lẹwọ́ ẹni kì í tan ní jẹ káfíìnù dúdú ṣiṣẹ́ ká má bá àfihàn funfun jìyà kí gbogbo wa ká tẹra mọ́ṣẹ́ wa kí ògo wa lè tàn láàrin àwọn ojúgbà wa gbogbo ẹni tó ń fi mọ́tò ọ̀kadà àti kẹ̀kẹ́ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ rìn tàbí tí ń fi ṣàjẹjẹ ẹ̀sọ̀ pẹ̀lẹ́ lè jòǹgùn pẹ́ ìkánjú òun pẹ̀lẹ́ ọgbọọgba ni ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe pẹ̀lẹ́ lójú pópó ìmọ́tótó ní ṣẹ́gun gbogbo àrùn ká mójútó àyíká wa ká má ṣe da ìdọ̀tí sójú àgbàrá tàbí ẹ̀bá ọ̀nà kílùú wa lè dùn wò tá a bá gbálé tá a gbàtà kádà sínú goro ìdọ̀tí káwọn kólẹ̀ kódọ̀tí lè gbé jùnú sáàtàn àmójútó àwọn amáyédẹrùn tíjọba ṣe fún wa ó dọwọ́ gbogbo wa àmúlélẹ̀ ẹ mọ̀jẹ̀ àpàjẹ́ tàbí jí gbé lọ ká má bàa dàbí ìdà tí ń wúlé ara rẹ̀ tó lòún bà kọ́ jẹ́ ẹja ṣera wa lọ́kàn pẹ̀lú ìfẹ́ ìrẹ́pọ̀ àtòtọ́nú ká má ṣe bára wa jàjàdíjú ṣe bọ́mọ ìyá kan náà ní gbogbo wa bọ́mọ ìyá méjì bá sì ń jàjàdíjú ẹni ẹlẹ́ni ní kó fà wọ́n lọ bá a ti ń jáde lọ lónìí ire ní tiwa lákùrẹ́ gbogbo wa sì lògo àkúrẹ́ pẹ̀lú kógo àkúrẹ́ kó tún lè tàn rókoṣo iṣẹ́ gbogbo wa ni o Ayọ̀dèjì DF Olúlẹ̀yẹ ogo àkúrẹ́ dé tán ẹ̀kú ojú lọ́nà.